Times Square. That's where I should start tracking Otto.
That'll definitely be a good place to start. It's where Otto released the Devil's Breath. It's as good a place to start as any. But before we do that, we have got so much to do. But with that being said, what's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave, and welcome back to Spider-Man, where last time we left off, all hell broke loose. I mean, just look at that skyline.
Hey, MJ, what's up? You okay?
I'm fine. Combing through Oscorp records. Hey, this is random, but you remember that trip we took to Staten Island with Harry?
To find the best pizza in the city? Yeah. 10-hour odyssey for burnt toast with cold American cheese. How could I forget?
Something about all these old Oscorp files made that day pop into my head. Harry was so excited about riding the ferry. Just made me think about how much simpler things were back then. No jobs, no supervillains. We could throw away a whole day looking for bad pizza just 'cause. Now it feels like if we take a nap, the world will fall apart.
Yeah, this adult thing is rough. But I guess the work we do means today's kids can have their own Staten Island adventures. In safety. Kind of a circle of life thing.
Circle of bad pizza. Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, but to be fair, these two do have a much more important and dangerous job than the rest of the 20-somethings in New York City. But speaking of New York City, all hell has broken loose. It actually looks like hell on earth right now, looking at the landscape of this city. The proverbial poop has hit the fan, and that bad boy was dialed up all the way to 10, and it's spraying everywhere. And there you go, you're welcome for that image inside your heads. But before we get going, we have got so much to do. We've got the Sable Outposts that are just rounding up innocent civilians. We've got the prisoners from Rikers and the Raft that have set up camps, bases of operations based on whatever faction or affiliation they had when they were inside. We've still got a few more research stations. The city might be going to hell, but Harry still needs this research done. And by God damn it, we're a scientist, and we need to do some good, especially after what's happened with Dr. Octavius. Taskmaster, and look at that, I actually said his name right this time. He's still got some challenges. He's still got quite a few stealth challenges around. We have got some side missions, one at the police department. That's not a good sign. And another one down here at ESU, which means there's some more students that are corrupted by Mr. Lee, Mr. Negative's touch. And on top of all that, we've just got so many crimes taking place. Not only have there some areas that still have thug and demon crimes, but we've got prisoner crimes and Sable crimes that are now taking place. So we've got so much to stop. We are going to be very, very busy, and we've got all that to do, and that's even before we can start tracking down Dr. Octavius, Mr. Negative, the Vulture, because I forgot him when I was doing my outro last time, Electro, Rhino, and Scorpion. We've got so much to do, so many people to take down, and a whole city to protect. So, in that vein, if we're going to do that, we're going to need a bit of protection, because last time we were here, we nearly died. Saving Aunt May and Miles, we were nearly burnt to death, crushed to death, everything to death. And if it weren't for their help, we would be dead. So this suit just isn't quite cutting it anymore. I think we are going to need a little bit of protection, or a little bit of armor, Iron Spider style. I am so glad to finally be wearing this suit. I've been wanting to wear this suit since the start of this game, but I've been holding off for the right moment. And with the whole city going to hell, I think this is the perfect time to be using the Iron Spider suit. We have actually unlocked 2 more suits. I've got the Spider-Man 2099 white suit, which actually the first time I ever saw this was actually in this game. It's got quite a good ability, the concussive strike. And also you got the vintage comic book suit, whose unique ability is to insult your enemy's pride, the most devastating wound. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but Spider-Man insults will embarrass you forever. I was tempted actually to unlock the Spider Armor Mark IV, not for the suit, but for the ability Defense Shield. We had our butt handed to us by Taskmaster last time, and I think round 2 is going to be a coming. So I was tempted to use the Defense Shield, and I might see how things go. Maybe I might use it later on. But as for right now, they've taken our city, and we want to take it back. So I think we are going to be rocking the good old iron arms. The iron arms are actually built for this suit, so I think, as Wolverine says in the X-Men The Last Stand, it might be an awful film, but it did spawn one great quote, which was, the good defense is a good offense, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Last gadget, we need to be level 45 before we can upgrade that, but we do actually have 4 points. So let's get the rocket return and finish the innovator section of our skills so we can throw back those rockets, because apparently someone thought it was a good idea to have bazookas at the raft, and so now the prisoners have it. So if I remember, I can throw some of those back. We can unlock Epicenter. I never really used the ground strike, but if I do remember, this will increase the epicenter, the shockwaves of that attack. I never remember to use this. It's never something I really use in my repertoire, but let's unlock it anyway. And then we've got these 1 point to unlock each one of these. Air tricks, quick recovery, and charge jump. They're just stuff that makes traversing the city that much easier. So we can just get these last at our leisure. But all the defender and all the innovator ones are completely upgraded. So we've got Spidey as upgraded and as good to go as he can be. I've only got one more gadget to upgrade. With the collections, there was some J. Jonah Jameson podcast we missed last time. At the end of this this whole walkthrough, let's play, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to do a thing with all of these podcasts in. So anyone that we have missed out, they will get played just at the very end instead. But before we get into the city, obviously the people from the raft have been released. So we have got some more bios. If you bear with me but a moment, we're going to go through and we're going to have a look at some of Spidey's rogues gallery. Starting with Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Occupation, gun for hire. Bio. Matt Gargan used to be a run-of-the-mill street criminal, and not especially good one. That was before he signed up for an untested procedure to fuse a human body with a mechanized combat suit. The process made Gargan stronger and faster than naturally possible, but also jacked up his rage and aggression, which isn't really great because I think that was quite high to begin with. I bet after what happened, the researchers regretted adding a weaponized towel to the suit on top of it all. It's not like Mac just wags it when he's happy to see you. It took me a while to develop webbing strong enough to hold him down for even a few seconds. Encounters with Scorpion have left me with more than a few scrapes and bruises, among much more serious injuries. Don't even want to think about how many love taps I'm going to have to endure to get him back behind bars. Powers and abilities. Mentally unstable. Yeah, that's an understatement. Enhanced strength, speed, endurance, and agility. Suit claws allow him to scour any surface, while towel can be used as a blunt weapon. His stinger contains a lethal and painful toxin that can be injected or hurled as a projectile. And this might be quite an uncommon opinion, at least as far as my scouring through the interwebs has shown me, but Matt Gargan is actually my favourite wearer of the symbiote of Venom, the symbiote suit. Most people's favourites either Eddie Brock or more recently Flash Thompson, and Flash Thompson was quite a good one, but everyone always says like Eddie Brock is the best Venom, and even though obviously he was the original Venom, well, unless you count Spider-Man, and he was a good Venom, he wasn't inherently a bad person. He did a lot of evil things when he wore the Venom symbiote, but inherently he wasn't an evil person to begin with. Matt Gargan is a sadistic, evil human being, and when he wore the Venom symbiote, it just enhanced all the worst qualities of the Venom symbiote, especially during like the Dark Reign storyline when Norman Osborn had his own version of Avengers. He was running his version of S.H.I.E.L.D. called Hammer, and he had Matt Gargan in the Venom symbiote pretending to be Spider-Man. He was just a sadistic, cruel animal, and I personally think he was one of the best incarnations of Venom, but that's just me. Aleski, God, I'm not even trying to pronounce his last name because I really don't want to butcher it. AKA the Rhino. Occupation, ex-mob enforcer, alias Santa Claus. What? Aleski, have you got a job on the side we didn't know about? I'm just picturing that horde with a ball on the top of it now. Well, ho ho ho, here comes the Rhino, I guess. Aleski, don't call him Rhino unless you're prepared to have your bones crushed. Aleski clearly loves the power this experimental combat suit gives him, but hates the way it makes him an easy target for ridicule. Talk about a trigger warning. Aleski would be hard enough to fight without his suit, but with it, he's like some unholy combination of a tank, a battering ram, and 18 gallons of Russian vodka. Even with my accelerated healing, it took me a couple of weeks to recover the first time I brought him down, and that was after he demolished 6 city blocks. I'm not looking forward to the rematch. Powers and abilities: superhuman strength and nearly impervious to harm thanks to his mech suit. Resistant to extreme temperatures, shock and explosive damage. Resistant to most acid solutions. And also can travel around the world in 24 hours delivering presents to kids all across the planet. Little unknown fact there. Santa Claus, okay. Max Dillon, aka Electro, occupation professional criminal, aliases Sparky. Okay, alright, so I'm guessing the aliases are just either common aliases or just Spider-Man's nicknames. Oh, and there was me thinking Oleski actually howled from the North Pole. Bio. Of all the villains I fought, Max Dillon might be the one that worries me the most. The story goes that he gained the ability to control electricity after a freak accident transformed him into a human lightning rod. As Electro, Dillon can shoot high voltage bolts at will, and he's come pretty close to zapping me into a Spidey shish kebab on more than one occasion. I got lucky the first time we fought. He would have killed me if he didn't burn himself out with his own electrical current. He was still getting used to controlling his powers then. If he ever taps their true potential, I'm not even sure the Avengers could stop him. Powers and abilities. A living electrical capacitor capable of generating electrostatic energy at roughly 1000 volts per minute, able to store upwards of 1 million volts and can discharge stored energy in the form of lightning blasts, capable of travelling at high speeds. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Adrian Toombs, aka the Vulture, former occupation even, former electronics engineer. Oh, look at that. Maybe Electro and Vulture should go into business together. Bio. When I first heard that an old guy was dressing up in a bird costume and calling himself the Vulture, I had a hard time taking him seriously. But I learned pretty quickly that Adrian Toombs is no ordinary geriatric. He engineered his flight suit himself and gave me a first-hand lesson that spiders don't do well at altitude. It took me years of failed attempts before I finally took him down, and I'm dreading having to do it all over again. The sharp wings on his suit are deadly in a fight, but they also allow Vulture to make quick getaway, and I can only swing so fast. Sometimes I wish I was bitten by a radioactive wasp, but I guess that moniker's already taken. Yeah, speaking of the Avengers. Powers and abilities. A gifted mechanical engineer. His flight suit grants him airborne speeds of up to 95 miles an hour and enhanced strength, able to launch simple, energized knife-like projectiles from his wingtips. And last but certainly not least, we have Dr. Octopus, aka Criminal Mastermind. Dr. Octavius and I were supposed to change the world. Now the media is calling him Dr. Octopus, and I'm wondering if the city's going to survive his rampage. I tried to warn Doc of the risks of the neural interface posed to his brain, but never in a million years did I imagine he'd turn into a revenge-obsessed monster. The Otto Octavius I knew would never hurt people. He dedicated his life to helping them. I know he's still in there, somewhere, and I'm going to do everything I can to save him. Powers and abilities. Mechanized prosthesis grants superhuman strength and durability, can scale nearly any surface. A direct neural connection means the prosthesis responds with the speed of thought. And this one in particular, Dr. Octavius, must be a particularly hard pill to swallow. We know he's already lost Uncle Ben, a father figure. We know from picking up the backpacks around New York City that Dr. Kurt Connors has already become the Lizard, another scientific mind and someone, or at least that we know Peter used to look up to. We don't know whether he did in this game, but we know he's at least had dealings with him. And now with Dr. Octavius, someone he's spent his whole life idolizing, has now also become a criminal. This must be a particularly hard pill to swallow, and not to mention the fact he looked up to Martin Lee as well. The good he was doing, and the fact he was May's boss. He looked up to Martin Lee, and he's only just had to deal with that, and now he's got Dr. Octavius and Mr. Negative at the same time. This is been a very bad week for Spidey. But with all that out of the way, with all that said and done, let's get into New York City and let's see what we can do to getting our city back. And I think let's start off with Harlem and work our way south. So let's go to the Sable Outpost and see if we can save some civilians from the wrath of Sable International. Bonus objectives: perform 10 swing kicks and stealth take down 3 RPG enemies. Oh, I like the sound of that. Rightio, let's do this. And on a personal note, I've really been looking forward to wearing this spider armor, as I said earlier. It's just, I've been fighting the urge to use it earlier in the game, but I wanted to wait for the right moment to use this armor. And now, when the whole city is literally turned into one giant...
Ignoring now.
one giant melting pot of violence and destruction. Now is just the perfect time. Rightio, so let's see what we've got going on down here. Let's make sure there's no... Ooh, my eagle eyes might have just noticed something. I was going to say, let's make sure there's no snipers on the other roof, but if my eyes do not deceive me, I believe there actually are. Nah, you did have something, and now you no longer have anything. The only thing you have is nap time. Rightio, I think, as far as I can see, that is all the snipers. Let's get down there and let's see what we're dealing with. I'm saying there's someone right next to me, apparently. Where'd he go? According to the radar, there's a guy right below me. Oh, I think that's a vehicle. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's an APC driving around there. I was getting to say, how the hell could I not see that dude? Right, yeah, let's work on taking out the stealth, the RPG guys first. This dude wasn't an RPG guy, but you know he was just standing there with his butt flapping in the wind, so I kind of felt like he was a good one to start with. Yeah, I see you down there. Oh, perfect. He was flicking between safe and danger, so I didn't know if it would be a good idea to take him out, but if the boot fits. You're next. Join your friend hanging from the light. There should be one more around here somewhere.
SA-99, please report in. Damn it, what is happening? Can someone check on SA-99? Copy. Checking his last position.
See, I nearly just went after one of Sable's vehicles again then, thinking it was, whoa, one of the guys I need to take down.
Stay alert.
Surprise!
Oh, crud, I completely forgot. These Sable guys are now we're on their radar. These Sable guys are rocking some armor, so when you want to use your webbing, as you can see here, it protects them from our webbing, and the only way to beat that webbing is just to knock it right off their bodies. I completely forgot they had that armor. Oh, well, I was looking to go loud anyway. Well, so I've got stealth the 3 RPG enemies. Let's get the swing kicks going. I don't know why all your buddies just ran upstairs. The fight's clearly going on down here, but I would feel like a bit of a bully for constantly just hitting you against the wall like this, but I mean, the fact that there is a cage of people over there, I don't really feel that bad about it. What did I just do? I'm just swing kicking your buddy against the wall. Man, this is cheap, but I really don't care. Perfect. Well, you might have armor that protects you against your webbing, but doesn't protect you against my kneecap, especially when that kneecap is armored up itself. Oh, did you hear that scream he just made?
That's all of them. Let's find out what they were up to. Captain, these Sable guys look like they forced all the residents out of a building so they could occupy it themselves. And locked up the ones who objected.
Okay, that I can get something done about, but I need victims to come forward.
I'll get the people out and have them file reports with the police.
Target Spider-Man is on site. Engage.
So, when you were little, did you say, I'm gonna grow up to be a fascist oppressor? Yeah, you probably did.
I would have loved to see the report card with that one. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fascist oppressor working for Sable International. Good job, Jimmy. Good job. Whoa! Right, maybe I need to start throwing some of these back. Oh, speaking of going airborne, thank you for reminding me. I need to fire some webs and build up some focus. Thanks for reminding me.
Hey, reinforcements! Now it's a party!
I mean, that's what we were doing, right? You weren't really locking up those civilians. You were just trying to organise a surprise party in their house. That's what you were doing. Okay. I feel so bad for punching you now. Right back at you. Oh, looks like we've got some boys trying to shoot us up top. Let's deal with these guys down here, and then we'll work our way up to them. Probably actually should work up to them sooner rather than later. Might be time to stretch our iron arms, come to think of it.
Bring him down.
Boom, baby! Dude, how do you, like, you know you're supposed to fire a bazooka at long range, right? You're not supposed to walk up and hit someone with it. It's not a big stick. But then I suppose as a bully, all you know is how to hit people with big sticks. But look at this, I've got 4 big sticks of my own.
You guys realize there are actual criminals out there, right?
Yeah, criminal records, they're behind bars and everything.
Spider-Man, I confirmed your suspicions. People displaced from the residences are staying in shelters or on the street.
I know what it's like not to have anywhere to stay. It's a good thing these Sable agents have body armor, because I just might lose my temper.
Watch out.
Yeah, for that phone call we had earlier when we first started attacking these guys, it seems like Watanabe actually seems pleased that they're finally doing something illegal. Before this, they're on Mayor Osborn's payroll. She couldn't touch them. But now they're doing something illegal. It doesn't matter who they're working for.
Sable agents, help! I'm being attacked by Sable agents! Oh, wait a minute!
They're doing something illegal, and that doesn't matter who they're working for. If they're doing something illegal, Watanabe can actually do something about it.
Bring him down.
Again, you brought a bazooka to a fist fight. I mean, you were hilariously outmatched anyway, but... buddy? Oh, there you are. I knew you were around here somewhere.
More backup? No, for private security, you guys aren't very private.
We need more agents.
I think you've already got your last wave of backup. Well, I think you do. I didn't actually see if this was the last wave or not. Maybe just wishful thinking.
Look out.
Woo! Oh, that actually exploded, but I managed to grab it as the explosion went off. It's not the first time we've bent reality to turn a loss into a win. Oh, that one's still got the armor. So do I. These guys just don't stop coming.
Everybody down.
Dude, I think it's only you and one other guy left.
You're under arrest.
Ah, maybe it was just you. Oh, it's just the gun on the APC. That's all that's left. Oh, okay. It looked like it was trying to ignore us, like, don't look over here.
All that drama, and for what?
Nothing to see here. Just a normal vehicle parked in an empty parking lot. Please don't destroy us. Right, let's get these guys out and back to their home. Fortunately, I don't think this is going to be the only case of this in the city.
That was terrifying. Thank you, Spider-Man.
Besides, keeping people stuck outside while the devil's breath is on the loose.
The people that were locked up are headed back to their homes.
Good. And I finally convinced the mayor's office that making constituents homeless was not good for his poll numbers, so they won't be pulling that stunt again.
Well, I suppose as long as they're stopping, that's all that matters, even if we have to appeal to Osborn's ego to make that happen. Somehow, though, that doesn't surprise me. Rightio, with that one being said and done, let's head east and let's go to the prisoner camp and then take down some this base of operations for the ex-Rikers inmates, and then we'll work up and we'll do this research token. Perform a 50-hit combo and knock or throw 5 enemies off a building. And we can probably, with the concussive blast, we can probably do that one in one shot. But okay, 50 combo. That one's gonna be a bit tougher. Maybe I should actually unlock the spider, bro. That one might help a little bit more of the combo. I'll stick with the arms right now. I mean, we don't need any more base tokens, so it doesn't really matter if we don't get the top goal, but there's no reason why we shouldn't still aim for perfection. Whoa! Stop resisting! I was just web swinging past. How about you stop shooting? So we've got inmates with guns, we've got Sable agents with guns.
What's your status? Checkpoint secure. Be advised. Region highly kinetic.
And we've got Sable agents arresting innocent people. All these people with guns, and then you've got these innocent citizens that they're locking up. Rightio, before we actually jump down, what do I have to do so I can actually just focus on the fight? Electrify 5 enemies at once and achieve a combo of 20 or more. Okay, that's doable. And I think we'll actually start with the electrifying right now.
Alarmist, paranoid, conspiracy theorist. All nasty words people have used to insult and demean me. But now, after years of me trying to warn you all, here we are. Spider-Man has literally brought a plague down upon us. Why do I blame him and not Martin Lee? I do blame Martin Lee. He deserves swift justice, but he's a lunatic terrorist. This is what they do. Whereas Spider-Man claims to be a hero. Yet he obviously knew about the threat and didn't warn us. He either thought he'd handled it, which makes him criminally negligent, or he was in on it, which makes him a terrorist too.
Kind of makes you wonder what Jameson's doing right now while all this is going on in the city. Right. Whoa, I was going to say let's take out the gun first, and then I'll try and electrify some enemies. Oh God! No! Right, let's take this down before this guy takes some pop shots off at me. There we go. So we've electrified, yikes, 5 enemies. Now we've just got to get a 20 combo, but to be honest, I think the main protocol is just not to die. Well, I didn't mean to pop the iron arms out, but I'll take it.
Glad Sable's after me now, too. As if I didn't have enough to worry about.
You're the liar. You're the best. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And if I'm destroying Sable's outpost and freeing these innocent victims, I'm making sure I tear the whole thing down. Oh God, and speaking of tearing things down, my suit looks like it's seen better days. We've only just started, and look at the condition of this thing. Holy hell. Note to self, don't sit in bright lights. Rightio, now these guys are safe. Let's get back and see what we can do about taking out that criminal base. You know, the things that Sable is actually supposed to be dealing with. Oh!
Someone needs a nap.
Yuri, this whole street's been taken over by Riker's inmates.
We've had calls from people who are afraid to leave their buildings.
Tell them to stay inside a little longer. There's gonna be some street cleaning.
Yeah, and this version of street cleaning doesn't involve us having to
You're done.
sift through loads of trash. Well, unless you describe these guys as trash. Then I suppose I'm going to be sifting through quite a lot of it.
Who's that?
Oh, only your worst nightmare.
You're just not very observant.
The pavement is where it was there now. Rightio, so we need to knock or throw 5 enemies off a building and perform a 50-hit combo. I just want to make sure that's all the snipers out of the way. It's kind of sloppy me just jumping in like that and not surveying the action first, but I think we've taken out all the snipers. So I suppose we can get this thing going.
Oh, sorry, did I startle you?
Was that?
Let's play the quiet game.
Here we go! I was wondering when they were going to finally spot me. Whoa! Right, let's work on knocking some of these people off the building first. And then we can get the 50-hit combo. How about you take this? Oh, yo, it's perfect. Bye-bye. Sayonara.
Typical New York. A vacancy opens up and everyone's rushing to take it.
Rightio, so now let's just work on the 50-hit combo. The music that's playing right now makes it sound like they still haven't even noticed I'm here.
Tommy, get up! Come on, get up!
Now, I'm afraid he's unconscious. You can try and cheer at him to get up as much as you like. Oh, I must have lost my combo at some point.
This isn't necessary. I'm already scared straight.
Whoa!
Spider-Man, I've spoken to people on the block who say the escapees tried to break into their buildings.
Fits with what I heard. They want to take one over.
They'll be a lot easier to deal with on the street, without hostages.
I'm working on it. Talk to you soon.
I can help with that.
Right there, that's what I was waiting for. A double finisher to take out Jabba the Pizza Hut over here. Yep, I see you! No, don't lose my combo because I'm web swinging. No! I fell off the building and lost my combo. God damn it.
Backup's here. Great. Okay, you guys sing doo-wah and I'll sing lead.
All because I was going for the guy with a gun. Well, we're still early on in this thing, so we can build up another combo. It's just a matter... Well, I was going to say a matter of time, but it's also a matter of hitting people in the face. And not having them hit me. Man, the amount of times I've gone to hit someone with the web bomb and accidentally hit them with the trip mine instead. I need to really pay attention to what I'm doing.
Hey, great to see you guys. We don't have backup or reinforcements here. Just people. You dig?
Yikes! There we go. Come on now, Dave. A 50 combo, that should be easily doable with all these guys. I need to focus. I don't think they're letting me do anything. I mean, they've already put up a good fight so far. 10 more hits without taking damage. That's all I need. And a Hurricanrana will definitely help. Boom! There we go. Right, I've had enough of you firing these rockets at me. Didn't exactly need that 50 combo, but if someone sets me a challenge, I just have to do it.
Captain, the block's quiet. Everyone in an orange jumpsuit is down for the count.
Great job. If they'd gotten into a residential building, they'd have done a lot of damage.
If you like this video and want to see more going forwards, please consider pressing the like button. It really helps the channel to grow. If you're new here, definitely subscribe and always push that notification bell to be notified of all future videos going forward.